Welcome to Consortia Small Business Accountants, How to Build a High-Performance Small Business. This is Session 4, Marketing and Selling. By way of introduction, this session introduces the marketing and selling processes. The session presents how you consistently generate prospective customers. As a reminder of what we've been addressing as far as the primary processes, today, of course, we're going to talk about marketing and sales. And again, as far as in the actual cycle, the system of the processes, it all begins with research and development, the products and services we're going to offer, and of course, you begin to market them and sell them. So as far as the results you're looking for, again, on 3 and 4, as far as marketing and sales, we're wanting to, 1, generate prospective customers, and 2, generate customers. And again, as far as the traditional small business problems, they're always related to the primary business processes. And so if we're having problems generating prospective customers as well as customers, it's due to the fact that we're not effectively marketing and selling. So the reason for the lack of new prospects and customers, most freelancers, sole proprietors, and local companies, that is LLCs, don't perform marketing and sales. At least they don't do it effectively. So once again, we'll kind of talk about what we talked about last week as far as research and development, but it pertains to both. So again, we begin with the end in mind. Number 1, we identify our target market. Number 2, we research our target market. Number 3, we improve and develop services and products for your target market. And 4, we provide services and products that differentiate us from our competition. So again, as far as identifying your target market, a target market refers to a specific group of prospective customers or prospects. You direct your research and development efforts to these prospective customers, as we talked about last time. But here we're going to talk about how you direct your marketing and selling efforts to these prospective customers as well. Marketing. The word marketing is synonymous with the word communicating. When marketing, you're communicating your message to your target market. So the question is, what do you communicate? You communicate to inform your target market that you provide cost-effective services and products that solve their problems. Now, once again, I'm going to use Consortia Small Business Accountants as an example. And so a lot of the things we're going to talk about here, you'll need to see our website to see how it works. And so I'm going to provide you our website address, which is consortiasba.com. So when we're done, if you want to go back and begin to see how we do this as an example, then again, you know where to go. So as far as services marketing, the core of service marketing is the service itself. Improve the service and your marketing is easier, less expensive, and generates a greater return on investment. Therefore, focus on improving your services. Now, once again, I realize some of you don't provide services. Some of you sell products. Some of you sell products and services. But the point being made here is that especially when it comes to services, if you're constantly improving your services, and again, we talked about this in research and development last time, then it makes your marketing so much easier. The golden rule of service marketing. The golden rule of service marketing is the focus on relationships. Build relationships of trust, competence, and cost effectiveness. Services marketing should focus on relationships and not on features and benefits. What prospective customers want to know? So number 1, can I trust you? Are you trustworthy? Number 2, are you competent? Can you do what you say you can do? Number 3, cost. Are your service or products worth the cost I incur? And 4, comparison. How do you compare to your competition? And so you need to always understand these are what your prospective customers are thinking. And so as you market to them, as you sell to them, you keep these things in mind. Now, let me go back here for a second, especially those of you who provide services. But again, it also pertains to those who provide products as well, and or. And so let me introduce you to what's called the fundraising process. Now, I learned this years ago from a friend he started a nonprofit and wanted to get assistance with fundraising. And I'd never had the experience, but I wanted to help him with his cause. And so I went to a course on fundraising. And what I learned was quite valuable. Some of the most important information I've learned throughout my professional career. And so let me share it with you. So as far as raising funds or fundraising, number one, what you need to do is you identify. You identify prospective donors most likely and able to donate. And so obviously you don't want to waste your time with people who are not likely or able to donate. Number two, you cultivate relationships with prospective donors. Number three, you solicit. In other words, you outright ask them for the donation. Number four, you develop what's called a stewardship. You express appreciation to donors for their donations. And so I found this fascinating because it applies, especially if you provide services, but even products. Okay, this should be helpful. So what they're saying is that as I'm going to go raise funds for a nonprofit, for a government entity, for a institution, whatever the case may be, first of all, I need to sit down again and identify those people who are able to and willing to donate. And number two, I don't just go to them and say, hey, could you give us $1 million to build that new wing on the University of Utah? Okay. And so what you do is you cultivate a relationship, and that's what's missing. And so marketing is cultivation. That's what you're doing. So you identify your target market and you begin to develop a relationship with your market. Now, of course, we're going to tie this in here in a second. But then, of course, we're going to solicit. But we don't solicit until we have that relationship. Otherwise, people are not going to donate. And then, of course, once I get a donation, I'm going to practice stewardship by expressing my appreciation. Now, part of the reason why they do this, and again, this would apply to us, that means me and you, part of the reason why we do this is because we want provide continuous service to them or continually sell to them our products, for example. And so that's the reason why they do it too. So if they don't express appreciation, then the next time they come around for a donation, they're not going to get it. Okay. And so the point is, this ties into marketing and sales perfectly. So services, marketing, and selling. Let's put the two together. So number one, you start by defining your target market, or in other words, what they would say, you identify. You identify prospective customers most likely to want and can pay for your services and products. Number two, marketing, which they would call cultivation. Cultivate a relationship with your prospective customers. Three, selling, or what they would call soliciting. Ask for prospective customers' business. Oftentimes you find people in the selling process, they do pretty good of targeting their market. They do pretty good of marketing to them, developing relationship, but they don't outright ask for or to sell the service or to sell the product. And number four, customer service, or what they would call stewardship. Do you express appreciation to your existing customers for their business? Consider other services or products that may help them and ask for referrals. Okay, so again, we'll talk about these things. Now, this applies especially if you provide services and do networking, or provide products and do networking, or of course do both. So networking is very, very important even today, okay? And so the networking process, once again, is the same. You identify people in your network that are able to give you referrals. And so you identify prospective network members most likely to refer leads. Number two, again, what we would call marketing, they would call cultivate. You cultivate a relationship with prospective network members. Number three, selling, what they would call solicit. Ask for prospective network members' referrals. And four, customer service or stewardship. express appreciation to network members for the referrals. So, for example, we specialize in working with small businesses. So our network consists, for example, of bankers, especially bankers who work with small businesses. They provide small business loans, for example. And so the idea is that's what we want to do. We want to identify those people who can refer us leads, small businesses that need our services, and then we cultivate a relationship with them. Take them to lunch, give them jazz tickets, give them a small gift, these kind of things. Things that are going to make them happy. In fact, when you first meet with them, one of the things you should do, for example, if you take them to lunch, is part of your conversation or what are the kind of things they like, In other words, what can you give them that they're going to appreciate? If they're not a basketball fan, then why in the world would you send them jazz tickets, for example? So that's just part of the process. But networking is always critical, no matter what type of business you're in, whether if you sell products, services, or both. Marketing. Marketing is the process of developing leads and converting those leads into prospects. Okay. And that's what their job is, nothing but that. Marketing objective is to generate and convert leads into prospective customers. Selling or sales objective is to convert prospects into customers. And therefore, the customer service objective is to retain customers, increase customer revenue, that is by upselling or cross-selling, and obtain referrals. So that's why they often talk about marketing and sales together. It's typically marketing and sales. And the reason why is because they work so closely together. Marketing generates prospective clients or customers. Sales closes the deal or turns them into customers or clients. So by way of upselling and cross-selling. Upselling and cross-selling are sales strategies aimed at increasing revenue, but they differ in approach. Upselling involves convincing a customer to purchase a more expensive, higher-end version of the service or product they initially intend to buy. Cross-selling focuses on offering related or complementary services or products to enhance the initial purchase. So the customer conversion process can be said this way. They begin as a lead that marketing develops. Then they, of course, contact them, marketing, and of course, they turn them into prospects. And therefore, sales kicks in and takes those prospects and converts them into customers. Now, as far as marketing and sales, it's a numbers game. So think about this for a second. So when you sit down and establish your target market, what's important is when you establish that market is look for a large market. The larger your target market, the more leads you generate. For example, you'll notice when we provide our accounting services, we use QuickBooks Online. And the reason we use QuickBooks Online is not only because it's a great product, but because Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks, they have millions of customers that use QuickBooks. Whereas their competitors, like for example, there's one called Xero, it's a good product, but they only have hundreds of thousands of customers. So that's how this works. The larger your target market, the more leads you generate. The more leads you generate, the more contacts you generate. The more contacts you generate, the more prospects you generate. The more prospects you generate, the more customers you generate. So it all begins with making sure you work with a target market that is as large as practically possible. And as far as marketing strategy, again, just to give you the steps. Number one, state the business you're in, your business statement. Number two, identify your target market. Number three, develop your niche or niche. And you can do that by the industry you serve, the services you offer, or the product you use. For example, as we use QuickBooks Online. So we specialize in QuickBooks Online. Number four, you position yourself in the marketplace. Number five, you differentiate yourself from your competition. And number six, you establish and build your brand or image. As far as the marketing process, number one, you first review your business statement. Number two, you identify your target market. Number 3, you generate leads. Number 4, you contact leads. And number 5, you refer prospects, that is, prospects you generated from those leads, to sales. And sales takes over. So as far as an example of a business statement, so we would state, we enable small businesses to increase their financial position, profit, cash flow, and equity. Now, one of the reasons why we state that is, first of all, that's what we do. In other words, yes, we provide bookkeeping, payroll, accounting analysis, and tax services, as well as other services, such as digital marketing, website development, etc. And so why do we do those things? So in other words, if I were to communicate to my target market, hey, we do bookkeeping. Well, they think bookkeeping is bookkeeping. Doesn't matter where you go, doesn't matter where you offer it. There's a ton of people who offer it, and so whatever. Okay. Whereas we use bookkeeping as a tool to help us enable small businesses to increase their financial condition, profit, cash flow, and equity. And so that's the difference. That's how we attract them, is by focusing on really what we're wanting to do for them. We're wanting to help them become successful. Target market. Small businesses throughout the United States. Small businesses using QuickBooks Online ecosystem. So you have the QuickBooks Online for bookkeeping. You have QuickBooks Online Payroll for payroll. You have QuickBooks Online Accountant for accounting. And you have a product called, it's called ProConnect, which is part of the ecosystem. And the beauty of it is that they all seamlessly work together. Okay? For example, one of the frustrations that a small business person has is they may be doing their books on QuickBooks Online, but they're using a ADP or Paychex through their bookkeeping. Well, that doesn't integrate together. So you have to make an extra effort to put that information within your bookkeeping. Okay, so that's why we love the QuickBooks Online ecosystem, as they all seamlessly work together. If you're doing the payroll in QuickBooks Online Payroll, you do it within QuickBooks, and so all the information is there together. Small businesses with less than 50 employees, small businesses with anywhere between 100,000 to 5 million in revenue. Generate leads. So again, it all comes down to generating leads. That's where it begins. Marketing does their job. Now, we live in a digital age, and so digital marketing is absolutely essential. So it begins with Google Maps, putting your location, pictures of your organization, the services you offer, your address, your phone number, your email address, so on and so forth, your website on Google Maps. Number 2, you may, and we would recommend, doing Google Ads. We've had tremendous success doing Google Ads. You have a YouTube channel, all depending on what you're doing. If you sell products, you can show videos demonstrating those products, so on and so forth. So it's great to have a YouTube channel. And then, of course, you can also do YouTube ads on that channel. And then as far as, or I should say, on YouTube, a website. Now, again, in our example, if you go to our website, you'll notice that we're constantly collecting leads. So, for example, we have what we call a call us. And as people call us, we capture, of course, their telephone number. We have on there called Have a Question. And as people put in their email and ask us the question, we collect their email. When people watch our videos, we do a ton of videos. We have a big, giant actual production studio. We're totally committed to videos. When people watch a video, to watch it, they have to subscribe. It's very simple. They just have to put their email in. So we capture their email. And then, of course, when people register, I said subscribe. People subscribe to, we have products and so on and so forth we give for free. They subscribe. But what I meant to say with the videos is that we have registration. So they go to watch the video, pops up, registration, give us their email, we collect their emails. And then, of course, we also give them the ability to text us. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see where it says text us. And so we're constantly collecting telephone numbers, emails, text numbers, etc. Our database is over 100,000, for example. And so you begin, and it takes a while, but as you collect them, you keep communicating with them, you keep producing new videos, you keep making announcements, so on and so forth. Those are key. That is, these leads. Search engine optimization. Improve your website visibility in search engine results, SEO. Free recorded training and tips videos. So as I stated, we produce videos constantly, such as this video you're watching now. And the idea is we do it for free. Number one, we want to educate people. And of course, number two, it gives us an opportunity to show people how we're different than the typical accounting organization out there and how we specialize in small business. And we give them things they want. A lot of small business owners are very, very good at what they do with their products or their services. That's why they're successful. But they're not financial people typically. And so they need a little help and assistance as far as understanding the financial aspect. And that's the reason why we do a lot of these videos and training and tips to be able to educate them to the level of what they should need to know as a small business owner. So as far as generating leads, again, just one example. If we have a Google ad, that's going to drive people to our website. They're going to register for a video. We're going to capture that registration, typically an email, and that's a lead. So the idea is to do that doing different things. So that's just one thing we do with our videos. And as I mentioned, all the others that we have as well. And again, these are examples of what you can do or we can help you do. So as far as contacting leads, so now we have this list of texts, we have this list of emails, we have this list of phone numbers. Number one, you always contact somebody by the way they contacted you. So for example, if somebody gives me their text, well, most likely, of course, or gives me their number, they're giving me their mobile number. And so we won't call them because they didn't call us. And so whatever they did to communicate with you, you communicate with them. So they text you, you text them. They email you, you email them. They give you a phone number, then you can call them. If you want to call them from capturing their text or email, then you ask for that permission before you do. But the point is, you need to contact your leads. So let me just take a minute and give you the little 5-minute thing on digital marketing, why it's so important and how it's so powerful. Digital marketing is promoting your business online using multiple digital channels. These channels make prospective customers aware of who you are and what you do. And as far as digital channels, again, your website, search engines like Google and Bing, business listing, again on Google Business Profile I mentioned, as well as Bing has what's called Bing Places for Business, online video, website, and video platforms such as YouTube. So in other words, here we're talking about as far as video platforms, again, if you produce videos, and you should. Videos are very, very powerful. They attract a lot of customers and clients. And so the point is you should be on YouTube or have your videos on your website. And of course, if you have videos on your website, then you're going to be using a product called Vimeo. And we'll mention that here in a moment. In other words, they're the ones that host your website just to display on your website. Host your video to play on your website. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Paid ads, Google, Bing, Facebook. So again, these are just different popular digital channels that you should consider using to get your digital presence. So as far as digital marketing is target marketing. In other words, you don't waste your time going, like doing a television ad, for example, or a radio ad where you're connecting with a lot of people that are not part of your target market. So the idea is to use the rifle approach as opposed to the shotgun approach. So digital marketing is target marketing. You're going exactly after the people you want to talk to. So digital marketing enables you to communicate with the right person at the right time through the right channel. Marketing is a science, and the digital aspect of digital marketing allows you to get scientific and precise. You make a hypothesis, you test your hypothesis, collect data, and adjust. The data makes digital marketing powerful. Practically every action taken online is tracked. You use this data to make more accurate predictions about online users' behavior. Since marketing is the process of persuading someone to act, the more data you have, the more successful you will be at the persuasion. Now, some people ask us, you're an accounting company, right? Yes, we are. Why do you offer digital marketing website development, and video production. Because we've been around for many decades and we continually improve and increase. And since we began to use digital marketing, we realized how powerful it is. We went from being a local accounting company to being a national company. And so it's so powerful, but you need to know what you're doing. And so that's the reason why we decided to assist our clients. They don't want to do it, that's fine. But it's just been so great for us. We know it can be great for them as well. So we offer digital marketing, website development, and video production. Digital data. So again, the data comes from websites. Now again, this is the data. So on your website, we would be using what's called Google Analytics 4, Web Analytics Tool. So you're looking at all these statistics, all these data, information that helps you become more precise and better at your digital marketing. Other data, search engines, Google online search tool based on keywords or phrases, online video, website Vimeo analytics. So we use Vimeo to host our website videos, but we also use YouTube analytics to analyze our platform, that is our channel. Social media, we would use Google Analytics. E-commerce, we love and recommend Stripe. Stripe Payment Platform Sigma Analytics. So what I'm saying is that with your website, your search engines, your online video, your social media, your e-commerce, it gives you so much valuable information, and it's all research and development, marketing and sales information. And it makes marketing and sales very, very powerful. Web analytics. Web analytics measure, collect, analyze, and report web data to understand and optimize web usage. Web analytics is not just a process for measuring web traffic, but is used for business and market research and to assess and improve website effectiveness. The focus is on identifying key performance indicators based on your company and user goals, and using the data to determine the success of failure of the goals and drive strategy and improve the user's experience. So of course we use this tool in our web development. Refer prospects to sales. So to this point, we pretty much have talked about generating leads. All sales texts, emails, and phone calls or appointments are directed to our contact center. And so what happens is they come to our contact center, and our contact center determines, is this a sales text, email, call, or is it for customer service? In other words, from our existing clients. They just need help and assistance or have questions, so on and so forth. So the contact center is what determines which one it should go to. And so, of course, sales takes care of sales calls. Customer service, which we call client care in our office, is how we take care of our customers. Now, that's a snapshot of marketing and sales. And so again, you can refer to our website, kind of see what we do, and if it'll benefit you, great. Notice again, you're going to notice videos that are very powerful, very helpful. Definitely recommend those. You're going to find a lot of ways to capture the particular client's information. Again, texts, phone calls, emails, etc. And it's just digital marketing is very, very powerful. If you did nothing more than digital marketing, had a great website that seamlessly integrated with your digital marketing, and you're producing videos effectively, that alone is going to bring you all the customers, all the clients you'll ever want. Now, we finished up the first 4 sessions to our series, or how to build a high-performance small business. Next time we'll talk about production. And again, we're all different. We talk about us as an accounting firm as an example, but we work with a lot of people who provide services, various services, a lot of people that sell products. And so, in essence, small business people have the same problems, need the same services, and can have the same results. And so, even though we all may do different things as far as services and products and different services and different products. So anyway, we're going to talk about productivity, and that's the important thing, no matter what you do as far as services or products. Then we'll talk about finance. We'll talk about increasing cash flow. And then we'll talk about customer service. And customer service does three things. The customers that you earn and work so hard for will stay customers. The customers you have, the idea is getting ready is reselling, upselling, cross-selling to those customers, getting more from those customers. And then, of course, increasing customer referrals. And so we'll talk about that in our 7th session. Thanks for attending. I hope this has been helpful. Have yourselves a wonderful day.